Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to be bringing you some dupes from Kohls. So we're going to have 4 dupes. So let's get started with dupe number 1. So this one is a multicolored cross, and it's $39.99. So it has some turquoise blue, some red, some black, and some white. So I'm going to take couple pieces of the 5-gallon stir sticks. So I'm going to have one longer piece and 2 shorter pieces. And then I'm going to take the 1-gallon stir sticks. I have 1 long piece and 2 smaller pieces. And I do have the measurements there. You can't see them too well. But maybe if you take a screenshot, you can make it bigger. And then this skinnier piece of wood is just a piece of wood that I had on hand. And I cut it so I have 1 longer piece and 2 shorter pieces. And I'm just using my Caribbean blue acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. And I'm just going to take a chippy brush here and go over the 3 pieces with it. Now, I do not want full coverage on these. And I am painting the sides, the front, the ends, and the back. Scooting that up so you can get a little better view of it. I'm still trying to work on my camera position. And again, I'm just doing a very light coat. I don't want full coverage. And I'm doing the whole piece, front, back, and sides and ends. And now I'm going to take this Apple Barrel red, and I'm just going to do certain portions of the longer piece and then the shorter pieces of the 1-gallon stir stick. And you don't have to cover the whole thing on this because you're not going to see the whole thing. You're just going to see the outer edges. So I have my red paint on. And now I'm going to use my black paint. Again, it's just the acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. And now I have the 5-gallon stir stick. Going to paint some black on it. I was just kind of trying to go by the picture that's out there on Kohls. Mine isn't exactly the same, but you kind of get the idea of it. And you can certainly paint yours whatever color you want it painted. So I'm using white paint, black paint, and turquoise paint, or Caribbean blue paint, and red. And now I'm just going to use my finger sander to sand these down. I do have it, a link to it in the description. If you want to buy yourself one, it does come in real handy. And I only put things in a description box that I actually use myself and have found them very helpful. So I'm just sanding down every piece of wood that I have here. I want it to look old and worn. And if you're using the paint stir sticks like I am, be sure that the markings for the ruler is on the back side. And the skinnier piece of wood, like I said, was just a piece that I had on hand, and I did cut it down. It is thinner than the stir sticks, the 1-gallon stir sticks. So you want your wood to be in 3 different widths, because you're going to have 3 layers for your cross. And now I'm just wiping off the sanding dust with a dry rag. And now we can start putting the piece together. So you start out with the pieces from the 5-gallon stir stick. And I'm just going to glue the sides of the cross onto the main cross piece. And I'm just using the Dollar Tree wood glue for this. I find that it works very well, especially on wood. Go figure, right? It's wood glue. Just trying to figure out which way I want this to go on. Okay, so that's it for the bottom piece of the cross. Now the next piece of the cross is the 1-gallon stir stick, and you want it to be longer than the pieces of the 5-gallon stir stick. So you want all the pieces of the 1-gallon to be longer than the pieces of the 5-gallon. So we're going to glue the ends onto the 1-gallon stir stick, and then we're going to glue the back side onto the 5-gallon stir stick. And just using the wood glue, which works very well. So once you have those pieces on, then you want to put the smaller piece of wood onto the top of the 1-gallon stir sticks. And again, the sticks that you're putting on top should be longer than your 1-gallon stir sticks for the main cross piece and the arms. And like I said, if these aren't your colors, then you can change them up to whatever color you want. I just thought I would try to go with as close to the picture as I could from Kohls. I know mine's not exactly right, and I know their cross is a lot bigger than mine. So their cross was $39.99, and mine is going to be well under $5. So we probably used 2 of the 5-gallon stir sticks and 2 of the 1-gallon stir sticks, and then that extra stick that I had on hand. So a pretty easy project. And I thought it turned out good. So let me know if you think I did good with the dupe or not in the comments, please. And I do read each and every one of your comments. And if you have any tips or tricks for me for anything that I do, or even with the filming, let me know, because I do take those into consideration. So there's the cross, and I believe I did add a hanger on the back of it. There it is, hanging on my wall. And there it is compared to the one at Kohls for $39.99, and mine was less than $5. A little bit different, but basically the same idea. And now on to dupe number 2. So for this one, they have this sign that says, "This is us," you know, our story, our life, whatever, for $167.99. Now, I know that mine isn't near as big as theirs, but let me tell you, mine was a whole lot cheaper. Now, I did do mine a little bit differently. I picked this decor piece up from Hobby Lobby when it was 90% off after Christmas, so it was probably less than $3. And because it's going to be a horizontal signs, I don't have to do anything with the sawtooth hangers. I'm going to leave those as is. And then I'm just going to use this enamel paint that I had left over from a home project that we had. And I'm just going to use it. So I'm just going to take my sponge dauber and I'm going to go over the words. You can certainly use acrylic paint for this, and I would have if I had any white, which I did not. I find that if you have white and black acrylic paint, you really need to get the larger bottles because you will use it the most. So as I get finished covering up the letters, I'm just going to continue with the painting and do the whole inside of the sign. And this is just the Kilt's enamel white paint. It's probably eggshell or something like that. Like I said, I had on hand. So I'm just taking this smaller angled brush and going along the edges of the frame. And now I'm going to take my chippy brush here and I'm going to go over the frame itself. So I'm just going to lightly brush it over the frame. Now you could leave this black if you wanted to. And while you're painting the inside portion of the decor piece itself, you can put tape over your frame so that you don't get paint on it. And if you wanted to keep the frame black, you could do that. I'm just distressing mine with some of that enamel paint. Now on my Cricut, I cut out the "This Is Us." And I am using a new vinyl for the first time. And it is from a Frisco craft. I got it off of Amazon. And I will put the link in the description box for that if you're interested. I did get a huge roll of it. It did work very well. I think it's about 50 feet. And it was not that expensive, actually. Yes. 12 inches by 50 feet of the matte black permanent vinyl. But like I said, it worked out very well. I'm just weeding it right now. And the phrase on this one here, I just got it from Design Space. It says, "Our life, our adventure, our home." So I like that it said "our adventure." I hadn't seen that before, so that's what I went with instead of the saying that was on the Kohls plaque. And if you use vinyl, let me know what your favorite vinyl to use. Now my transfer tape I had in 2 different pieces, and I'm just using this clear adhesive that my husband had. And you know, I don't see any point in buying transfer tape when I have this stuff to use, and it does work pretty good. So I'm just trying here to figure out where I want it to lay on the board. And since it's in two pieces, I needed to lay the two pieces down first and kind of measure the ends of the swirls that's on the end of the letters, so that I would know where exactly to place the words. And I think it's about 3¼ inches from each end. So I'm just going to continue working with it until I get the placement the way I like it. I don't normally measure a lot, but you know, on certain things you really need to. So now that I have it where I want it, I'm just going to burnish it down with my tool that I got from the Dollar Tree. Once I get it burnished down, then I'm going to start lifting up the vinyl. And you do want to make sure that your paint is completely dry before you add your vinyl. I would suggest letting it dry for a couple hours before you start applying your vinyl. Because if you don't wait, then your transfer tape can pull up your paint. So I just added the second part to what I cut out. This is us, our life, our adventure, our home. And there it is sitting on my cabinet. Let me know if you think I hit the mark. There's the one from Kohls for $167.99. And mine was less than $5. And now on to dupe number 3. So for this one here, they have the flower, which is metal in a wooden frame for $69.99. Now I've been wanting to do this one for quite a while. So I got this decor piece again from Hobby Lobby after Christmas, 90% off. And I'm just going to take off the sawtooth hanger. And then I need to take out that inside plaque. So I'm just heating it up with my heat gun on the highest heat. And carefully, because it does get hot, just trying to push it out. And I'm not going to throw this piece away. We're not going to use it for this DIY, but I could use it in a future DIY. And there it is. And now I'm just taking these bamboo sticks and putting them from corner to corner and then cutting them down to size. I already cut it down, and I did use my miter shears for this, but you can use scissors for that. And I do have my miter shears listed in the description box. And then I'm just using some acrylic black paint with a sponge dauber, and I am painting those skewers. Now you do want to make sure you cut the point of the skewers off and just use the blunt ends for your piece. So once those are dry, then I'm going to angle them from corner to corner just using my hot glue. Now this is a new glue gun that I got for Christmas. Ryobi, my husband got it for me. And that sucker gets hot. You can see the smoke coming off of it. Man, woo! But it is a cordless one, and I do like it. My other cordless one, I liked it too, but the thing of it is, when I kept knocking it off my table, and then the cord kept pulling out of the glue gun, and I ended up tearing it up. So that was my fault. This one doesn't have a cord, thank goodness, so I should be okay for it. And I did put some hot glue in the center where the two bamboo pieces meet, the two skewers. And then I put more glue on top of the bamboo skewers in the corners. In fact, I used quite a bit of hot glue for this. And now I'm putting the sawtooth hanger back on. I had to take it off to get that inner piece out of the frame. And I have this metal flower that is a teal rose with brown leaves that a friend of mine gave to me, and I thought it would be perfect for this project. So I'm just going to add a bunch of hot glue to the middle back of the flower. And then I'm going to add it to where the skewers meet in the center of that X. Once I have that on there and I'm holding it down, I want to put some glue on the back of that one leaf that is sitting on top of the skewer, just for some more stability there. Because you only have the middle piece sitting on a skewer and then that one leaf on a skewer. So I'm going to add more hot glue to the center piece there. Because I don't want it falling off. Put more hot glue. Let me tell you, I probably used a whole stick of glue on this project. And now I'm taking a piece of fabric. This is just a piece of, what is it, painter's cloth, drop cloth. Just a piece of it that I had left over, and I'm putting that over the back of the flower where it is glued on to the skewers, just for some more stability. I thought that might help with it. And that's all there is to this. And there it is. And this was way less than $69.99. It probably wasn't even $5 because I had the skewers, and my friend gave me the flour, and all I had to do was purchase the box, which was 90% off. So there's mine hanging on the wall. There's theirs. Theirs was $69.99, and mine was way less than $5. What do you think? Now I could have painted the flower white, but I liked it the way it was. So now on to our last dupe, number 4. So for this one here, it's a family sign. It's $69.99. Also from Kohls, of course. And I again have a piece of decor from Hobby Lobby, 90% off. And I'm using that same enamel paint. And I'm just going to paint the inside edges here where the black and white buffalo check is. And I don't need to worry about the inside if I get paint on it or not. So I'm going to do a couple of coats of the white paint. And then I'm going to do the outside edges of the frame. So I'm just painting the whole frame in white. Now for the family word, what I did was, I'm using this, I'm not going to use the glue stick, but you could use glue stick. I'm using the glue stick on the dot for the eye. But what I did was I took those shirt boxes from Christmas that you get 2 in a package from the Dollar Tree. So I had these left over from another project that I had done. And so I just used the extra pieces to cut 4 of these family words out on my Cricut. And then I'm just going to glue the word together, one on top of each one. So it's kind of like chipboard, only it takes your Cricut a whole lot less time to cut it out because it only has to cut one at a time. I think chipboard, it has to go through several passes before it can actually cut. And then I'm using this clear liquid glue from Elmer's. I'm not sure where I got it from. I think I did see some in Hobby Lobby. And I find that it works pretty good because it has a fine tip on it. And you have more control over it, even more control than the glue stick. Because you know how the glue stick, the end of it is pretty wide. This just has a little bitty point on it. And so you have more control of where you're putting the glue. So I'm just putting it all over the top of this family word. And I believe this word was already in Design Space. So all I had to do was search for the word family and found this one and then just cut it out. Sized it the size that I wanted and then cut it with my Cricut. Now you can also use cereal boxes. I don't think you really want to use anything thicker than that. I would not use cardboard boxes that you get things shipped in, but cereal boxes do work well. And if you have any gift boxes that anyone gave you with Christmas gifts in it, you know, like the shirt boxes and so on, that's what I used. But again, cereal boxes will work as well. So I just put that one family word on top of the other family word. And then I'm just pressing it down, making sure it's sticking, and making sure it's lined up with the bottom word. Now again, I'm going to put some more glue on the top of this one and put the third family word on. Doing the same thing, lining it up and then pressing it down. So I got this idea from Kelly Barlow from KB Creations. She has a YouTube channel, and she was showing us how we could do these with cereal boxes. And I thought, man, that's a great idea. I don't have any chipboard, and I didn't really want to buy any. And she said it takes a long time for it to cut it out. So I thought, hey, let me try this out. And I really like this, this way of doing words. So if you haven't tried it, you might want to try it. And if you have tried it, let me know in the comments how it turned out. I'm going to use some more of that Elmer's Clear liquid glue and put on our final Family word. So that's 4 of these words. Lining it up and pressing it down. And we're going to set that aside to dry, and I'm going to take some 1-gallon stir sticks. And I get mine from Lowe's or Home Depot. And don't forget, if you have a military ID, you can get 10% off. So you're going to need 2 packages for this. And I'm just lining them up over the decor piece that we have from Hobby Lobby to see how many I'm going to need. And then I'm measuring to see how long to cut these. And I think the measurement was just a little bit under 8 inches. Now what I did was I took I divided the bunches of stir sticks into 2 groups, and I used masking tape, and I taped them together and took them down to the saw and cut them. And then I used my finger sander to sand the ends. And of course, my Ladybug vacuum to vacuum up the dust. Now I'm taking some water and my Waverly, what is it? Waverly wax, dark wax, with some water, stirring it up real good. And I'm just going to put it on the sticks. And I'm going to put it on the front and the sides and the ends. You really don't need to do the back. And I kept putting it on the number side, which I didn't want it face up. So some of them I had to repaint, or I had to make sure that I put it on all the sides. And then I wiped it off, wiped off the excess. Now I'm going to take a chippy brush and my enamel paint. And I'm just going to lightly go over 5 of the pieces. And you only need to do the tops. And then I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. I'll tell you what, a heat gun comes in handy. I kind of took my husband's. He didn't appreciate it, but he wasn't really using it. So if you don't have one, you might want to get one. And now my next set of 5 sticks, I am going to paint with the Caribbean blue. Do you say Caribbean or Caribbean? Either way, I like the color. Again, using my chippy brush and just lightly coating the sticks over top of where I did the Waverly wax. And again, you only need to do the tops. And I'll dry that with my heat gun. I'll set those aside, and these last ones we're not going to paint, we're going to use the finger sander. So I'm going to sand these down. And we have 4 of these. So we used a total of, well, no, I guess there's 15 of these cut down sticks. And again, I'm just using the wood glue from the Dollar Tree to glue these onto the decor piece. And I'm starting with the blue. My next one will be one of the brown ones. And then I'll do a white one. And you could put these in whatever order you want. Gonna do a blue one. And then I'm not gonna do blue, brown, white, blue, brown, white. I'm gonna mix it up. So this next one is gonna be a white one. And then I'll do a brown one. I'll do another blue one, a brown one, a white one, a blue, a white, a brown, a blue, a white, a brown, a white, and then a blue. Now this last blue one was a little too wide, so I did take my miter shears and cut it down. Now you might be able to use some scissors for this. I'm not sure, but I did use the miter shears. Now I do have them a link to them in a description box. And if you're interested in looking at them, I have to say, I like having them around for little jobs. So I just keep trimming it until I get it small enough to fit in my decor piece. And then as I was pulling the stick up out of there, I kind of messed up the paint a little bit. So I'm just going to touch up those pieces. And I'll dry that before I put my wood piece in. And now I'm just going to add my glue to the decor piece and then put my stir stick on top of that. Now we're going to go back to our family word, and I have the enamel paint again and this little sponge dauber, and I'm just going to paint the word in the white, which is basically an off-white. It's kind of like an eggshell. And I like using the sponge daubers to do this because it puts a little texture on it. And usually you only have to do one coat. Whereas if you use a brush, you're going to see your brush strokes. So this is just my go-to for doing words and stuff. Now I'm just going to, again, take my heat gun and dry it. Once I have it dried, I'm going to lay it on my piece, decor piece here, and I will use my clear Elmer's glue, liquid glue, and I'm just going to lay it on the piece where I want it, and then I'm just going to lift it up and put glue on a portion of the word. Once I get it on part of the word, I'll lay that down and then pick up another piece of it and add more glue to it. So there, I got the F. I'm going to lay it down where I want it to go. Press it down, and then I will lift up where the A is, and then add glue to that. So I'll add glue to the A and the M. And like I said, the fine tip on this Elmer's glue, liquid glue, clear glue, really lets you have good control over where you're putting the glue. So I'm going to lay the A and the M down, press it down. And actually, I guess the I too, and then I'm going to continue putting glue on the L and the Y. This way it just makes it a little bit easier. You're not having to lift up the whole word and then try to get it placed and not having it smear all over your project. So I just find that it works a little bit better. And now all we have to do is the dot for the eye. And there we have it on there. This project is complete. Look at that. So you have to let me know how I did. This is my family decor piece. And there it is hanging on my wall. I think it turned out pretty good. I like it. And again, here it is with the one from Kohls. Now, I'm sure mine is not as tall as the one from Kohls, but mine was less than $8 and theirs was $69.99. So let me know which of these projects you liked best, and if you'll try any of them yourself, put it in the comments, and I like to read your comments. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. And if you know others that might like these kind of crafts, please share my video with them. Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so.